let's talk about the strangest pick of the first round of this draft. Portland sitting there at, number 16 in the draft. They come up on the board, and Adam Silver gets to the podium and says the Blazers have selected Yang Hansen. And I got to tell you, Rachel, I've tried to be somewhat plugged in to the draft process. I had absolutely no idea.
You hadn't been crushing film on him?
Have not been crushing film on Yang Hansen. 20 years old. I think it was Jake Fisher that described him as the Chinese Nikola Jokic. I watched a little bit of film of him. Like, he's coordinated for sure, and he's got some moves in the low post. But when I texted other executives about Yang, there were a lot that said that they liked him, but they liked him as a second-round pick.
Oh.
There were a couple that said, like, I can see him becoming a really good career backup in the NBA. And the Blazers grab him in the first round. Now, the Blazers scouting department is led by Mike Schmitz, who I used to work with over at Yahoo. Really smart guy. One of the brightest scouting minds that I've been around, and excels at scouting internationally. All over the globe, this guy goes and watches talent. He obviously sees something in Yang, but to draft him in the middle of the first round on a team that just last year drafted Donovan Clingan, that still has DeAndre Ayton and Robert Williams III on the roster, I don't know. I mean, I feel like, could that draft capital not been utilized on someone that made a little bit more sense?
Or trade down. If this is who you're going to draft,
well, that's,
you have no competition. I promise you, there was nobody else in any front office around the NBA being like, oh man, we missed out on Young. Ugh, I can't believe Portland went and nailed and snatched him up. Like, there's nobody who was, competing with them for that. And I just, again, I'm like you, I'm just reading scouting reports on him because who has seen him play? But the scouting reports are that, yes, he's a great passer, some flares of Jokic, but although Jokic is possibly the best passing big man ever in the history of the game. So the likelihood that you have found the next one is not likely. Someone might be good in that mold, but they're not going to be Nikola Jokic. And then there's a bunch of questions about his athleticism, his explosiveness. And it's not the sort of knock on Nikola, which was, he's a little overweight, he's a little pudgy, I don't know how committed he is. This is the way this guy's body is constructed is not necessarily an NBA frame. And the explosiveness, we don't see it being there. So if those are the knocks that the scouts have seen who have seen him play, that's what they highlight. Again, you didn't need to get him at that spot. And if it is who you wanted, if you're Kevin Costner and it's him or no one, at least trade down and get something out of the fact that you are taking this risk that nobody else wants to take.
I'm just watching that clip over and over again. You see him struggling to button up that cream-colored suit. And look, this was a great moment for Rich Paul. Great moment for Rich Paul. Rich Paul set himself up to be the go-to agent for all Asian basketball players. If you are an unknown basketball player, Rich Paul...
Look what I got him.
Got this guy.
Look what I got him.
Who nobody had projected in the first round.
Sign
drafted
with me.
In the middle of the first round. That comes with guaranteed money.
Yep.
Like, he's going to get...
Money's real.
3-year, 4-year deal.
By the way, the endorsements this guy
thing.
is going to get, that I assume Clutch will get a piece of, is going to be huge. If you've spent any time around any Chinese basketball player or even player who is popular in China, I've spent a long time working with Tracy McGrady, let me tell you how much endorsement money is out there on the most populous country in the world. And that will all be there now because he is a legitimate NBA player. And so no matter how good or not good he turns out to be, he's in the NBA, he will get endorsement deals.
Now, I don't even know where the Blazers go from here, though. Like, you draft Clingan, who was a dominant college basketball player. You get him in the top 10 in last year's draft. I mean, Robert Williams is definitely in play. If he can prove that he's healthy, somebody's going to want him. DeAndre Ayton's still got a big contract. I don't know what the market's going to look like for him. They now have a glut of, high-level big men. High-level, and not even big men, because they're all centers. Like, they're not versatile players. They're all guys that really only play the five. They're going to have to do something with that logjam in the middle. And this is like for Mike Schmitz, it's a big swing, man. It's a big risk to take. Like, you may have just drafted the next Nikola Jokic, like we've been talking, but you also may have just drafted Chinese Bruno Caboclo, right? You maybe.
We'll see. Yeah.
Like,
I
you
mean,
may have
look,
just-
more power to them if it turns out.
Yeah, that was the wildest pick.